First, route your housing. Now, cut your housing. Install the cable. Install the post. Hook the cable up at the lever and drop away. This video will go over the process of installing a dropper seat post. The information covered is relevant to almost all dropper seat posts, including internally routed, externally routed, and electronically actuated dropper seat posts. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first dropper post, check out our video on dropper post sizing over here. Start by inserting the post and finding the ideal ride height, or whatever height you prefer to ride at. For droppers, this is typically measured from the top of the seat collar to the rails of the post. Mark your post at this height. A few wraps of tape allows the post to stay in place without the collar being tight. Now, remove the post. Next, install the remote at the handlebar. There are a few different styles of dropper remotes. There are rocker levers. There are electronic remotes, which can even be built into shifters. But most are a lever that is very similar to a shift lever. Most dropper posts use a standard shift cable to actuate the post. But it's important to note the orientation of the cable, and that is dictated by the lever and post design. Some are designed to have the cable end at the lever, and some are designed to have the cable end at the seat post. No matter the style and orientation, most find it best to mount their dropper lever on the left side of the bar. Stand over the bike, give your lever placement a test to make sure that it does not interfere with your riding. When looking at the best position for you, look for different bolt holes that may allow you to change where the lever is located. This may help you find a more comfortable position. Droppers use compressionless shift housing, or in some cases, dropper-specific housing. Droppers do not use helically wound housing that is often found on brakes. To determine how much housing you will need, hold up your housing to your frame and go section by section. And add about 12 inches at the end. Once you have an appropriate piece of housing that is longer than you will need, route the housing through the frame. Or outside the frame if you have an externally routed dropper and/or frame. If internally routed, the frame may have a sleeve that allows you to push the housing in one side and it will just pop out the other. For bikes with open internal routing, it can help to use the Park Tool IR 1.3, and in some cases a pick. But the most important part is patience. Install a ferrule on the dropper side and insert into the mounting location on the post. Set the post to your desired saddle height, keeping slight pressure on the housing at the front of the bike to keep it engaged. This is a bit of a balancing act between pulling the housing and pushing the post. Now, At the bar, hold the housing to the bar to mock up the correct length. Turn the bars to be sure the housing does not get pulled in a crash or during normal riding. Cut the housing at the location you find is best. Use a sharp cable cutting pliers like the Park Tools CN10. Once you have it cut, use a pick to open the end of the housing. Now, install the ferrule at the end of the housing. Before installing the cable, pull the post out of the frame while gently pushing on the housing. This will help keep it engaged in the post so it comes out nicely. Now is also a good time to lubricate the inside of the seat tube. Now it's time to install our cable. For this one, the head is going to be down here at the post, and the side without a head is going to get clamped up here at the lever. For the other designs that clamp down here at the post and have the head at the lever, we're going to be talking about those in just a little bit. For those that clamp at the lever, install the head at the post. Note, some posts have a small adapter that needs to be installed below the head. Now, push the cable through the housing. Pull the cable to pull the housing into its seat at the seat post. Keep pressure on the cable and housing as you push the seat post into the seat tube so that it does not come unseated. Push the seat post down to your ideal saddle height. This is where the couple rounds of tape really helps out. Push the cable through the dropper actuation lever. Be sure the barrel adjuster is turned fully clockwise so that you have as much adjustment as possible. Tighten the cable fixing bolt. Before cutting the cable, tighten your post in place. Actuate the lever and push down on the post. Be sure the post drops and release the lever. Now, push the lever and be sure the post pops right back up. Look for any dead band in the lever throw. If you get any dead band after a few actuations, loosen the cable fixing bolt, pull the cable, and refasten the fixing bolt. If a very small amount of dead band is present, use the barrel adjuster to take this up. Now, cut the cable. Cut it fairly short so that it does not stick out. Next, crimp on a cable end crimp. A Park Tool EP1 can be a very handy tool in this location. Go back and verify your torque at the seat collar. Your post is now fully installed. For those that clamp at the post, start by installing the cable through the lever at the handlebar, and then through the housing. Pull the cable at the post to seat the housing at the lever. Slip the seat post's cable clamp over the cable. Set the cable clamp's distance from the housing end cap to about 15 millimeters. Some manufacturers include a gauge for this. Another method without measuring is to push the lever fully and hold the cable clamp as close to the housing end as possible and tighten. If you get this too short, the post will not stay up and the post will be actuated all the time. If you get this too long, the post will not drop when the lever is pushed. There will be deadband in the lever. Keep in mind that there is a barrel adjuster to accommodate some of the deadband. These can be found on the end of a noodle or on the actuation lever itself. Tighten the cable clamp to manufacturer's specified torque. This is typically about 2 Newton meters. Once you are confident with the length, cut the cable below the cable clamp, leaving a very small amount sticking out. If this is left long, the tail can interfere with the actuator's function. Now, slip the post back into the bike. While you slip the post back into the bike, you should pull the housing at the nearest accessible section and push the post down to the appropriate height, using the housing to pull the post into the seat tube. If you push the post into the frame without pulling on the housing, it can cause the housing to kink and cause excessive resistance, making the dropper hard or even impossible to use. Once the post has reached ideal ride height, tighten your seat collar. Push the lever at the bar and actuate the dropper. Push down on the dropper. If the dropper drops, all is good. If the post does not push down when the lever is depressed, check the lever for any deadband. If there is any, you will need to adjust the barrel adjuster, or pull the post back out and change the spacing of your cable clamp. When you are confident in the adjustments, tighten the collar to the manufacturer's specified torque. Installing an electrically actuated dropper post is very similar to installing a standard post. Simply prep the seat tube with either grease or some friction paste, install the post, torque it to spec, charge your post's battery. Some require you to remove the battery and some require you to plug the post in. Once you have charge in your post, move to installing the controller at the bar. On a flat bar bike, these are typically installed on the bar just like a shifter. On a drop bar bike, you may be able to use your shift levers to control your dropper, or you may have a standalone controller and/or buttons. In some cases, you may need to sync your electric dropper post with your dropper lever, or with other components in the system. And in some of those cases, you may need to use an app. And in those apps, you can often adjust different preferences. So go in there, sync it, make adjustments if you need to, but from there, your electric dropper post is installed. And that's how you install a dropper seat post. Thanks for dropping in with us. Get out there, get your hands dirty, and we'll see you next time on the Park Tool YouTube channel.